Have you ever had a day where absolutely everything that could go wrong did go wrong? Well, I had one of those days recently, and it all started with my fridge. It was one of those mornings where I woke up and thought, yes, the life I've always wanted. The house is clean, the kids are fed, and I have a full day ahead of me. So I decided to make myself a nice cup of coffee and take a moment to enjoy the peace and quiet before the chaos of the day began. But even that small pleasure was taken away from me when I went to put the kettle on and realized that it wasn't plugged in. Of course, it wasn't. Why would I plug it in last night? But still, I had visions of us all having cold tea and coffee all day long. So I decided to fix it immediately. After plugging in the kettle, I went back to the kitchen counter to get my water, only to find that all of our water had mysteriously disappeared overnight. It wasn't just the water tank in the fridge, though. Every single drop of water in our house was gone. The toilet tanks were empty, there was no water running in the taps. Even the washing machine was dry as a bone. I checked the stopcock, which controls the water flow to the entire house, and it was wide open. I looked at it as if it might be some kind of magical creature that had suddenly sprung to life and turned itself on. But there was nothing. I checked the pipes under the kitchen sink. I checked the washing machine hoses. I even checked the water tank in the loft. But nowhere could I find the source of the leak. I sent a text message to my husband, who was out on a work call, and said, "You need to come home immediately. We have an emergency. We're all gonna die of thirst." Obviously, he didn't reply straight away because he was on a call, but by the time he got home, we were pretty much out of water. Still, he tried his best to fix the problem and even suggested we use bottled water until we got the problem sorted. "We can manage," I said, trying to sound more confident than I felt. "We'll just have to use bottled water for everything until we get this fixed." My husband came back from the shops with several cases of water, and I started filling up all the containers I had in the house. Then we heard the rumble of thunder, and we both looked up at the sky. At first it was just dark clouds, but within seconds, torrential rain was pouring down. Of course it was. Why wouldn't it start raining the moment we run out of water? We stood there watching the rain, feeling sorry for ourselves. But then we looked at each other and burst out laughing. It was one of those situations where you just have to laugh or you'll cry. And then we made the executive decision to go out for the day and leave the problem for the next day. When we got back home, the first thing I noticed was a huge puddle of water on the kitchen floor. And then I saw it, the fridge door was open. I don't know how long it had been open for, but all of the food was completely dry. All of the meat and fish was rock hard, and the vegetables looked like they'd been in the Sahara Desert for a week. I opened the fridge to take out the stuff we could salvage, and then I saw it. Scrunched up in the vegetable drawer was a tiny little post-it note. And on it was written, "Nice try, but I'm on strike. No more cold water for you." It was obviously the work of my 12-year-old daughter. She has a great sense of humor, and since she's a teenager, she also has a great big mouth. She hadn't meant for the fridge to be out of action for long because she knew her dad would be home soon and he would sort it out. But because he was delayed at work, the fridge was out of action for longer than anticipated and several of my yogurts went bad. When he finally got home, though, she did apologize and she even helped him fix the problem. And that's why dads love their kids so much. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this story, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And why not subscribe to the channel for more fun family stories? Until next time, goodbye.